SalMora.com. We're here with mixed martial arts fighter Vadiano La Luz from Upstate New York, now fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Vlad, thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely, Sal. Thank you.
Vlad, now you're from Upstate New York. How did you make your way all the way to the southwest of the United States in Albuquerque, New Mexico?
Long journey, man, but it was good. My pops was out here. He came out, was teaching in Las Cruces, New Mexico, at the school, and I came out to visit him, wanted to rekindle ties with him. I hadn't been around him for, quite some time. I wanted to kind of get to know my dad again. So came out, visited him, saw the city, loved Albuquerque. I said, he was in Cruces at the time, so I'm like, you move to Albuquerque, I'll move. Not thinking anything of it. So the time I went back, I was in Chicago at that time, and I went back to Chicago and was DJing and doing crazy things. And
you spend those ones and twos,
yeah,
huh?
Absolutely,
Right,
man. So yeah, man, came out, yeah. So so then I get a call probably 6 months after being back, and he's like, hey, I'm in Albuquerque. He said you come out. Word is born, come out. I'm like, oh man, I'm DJing and loving life. We were doing raves and the whole nine. It was just super good time. And that was that. So I'm like, all right, man. So it took me another few months. And so it was the city of Chicago. So things happen. Dirty city, and great city, but dirty city, and things happen. And I just packed my car and moved. Came out in 01, and
been here ever since?
Been here ever since. I love it, man. I love this place.
Now you're obviously fighting mixed martial arts.
Big time.
Do you have a combat sports background? Meaning, do you have that wrestling? Do you have a boxing? Do you have the kickboxing, like Muay Thai, like these other people that come into the sport? They always seem to have a background. Did you have that background?
I didn't. Unfortunately, I got taught bits and pieces of martial arts from my father when I started getting back in touch with him. I started seeing him again at 12. We were doing little things. I'd go visit him for summers and stuff, and he'd show me like little tricks and little things to protect myself, because I get beat up all the time. I was 140 pounds, 6 foot, just really lanky.
The mean streets of New York.
Yeah, exactly. So it was rough, man. I get beat up all the time. Just fighting, and he was like, all right, and he'd show me little crazy things, and punch to the groin, and crazy things just to get out, and how to talk your way. And so I learned the ways of the street and kind of coming up that way. And then I started getting into like all the martial arts movies. So I found the Kung Fu instructor, and I got into Kung Fu. I really liked Bruce Lee a lot. So I started following him and thinking I was like, Bruce Leroy from Enter the Way of the Dragon. It was cool, man. It was good, but it was good. It taught me discipline, but at the same time, it taught me how to kind of protect myself. And then that was all I had. I didn't have anything else, and I was just scrappy, dude. And I had a big heart, So like I didn't. That was it, man.
So from there, did you just walk into a gym? I mean, how did you get involved in MMA?
Okay, so I came to New Mexico, and I had progressed from like kind of having respect and not having any at all, and like I do silly things in Chicago and New York, just silly, and I didn't want to be like that. I just had the Kung Fu background and the street background. So I wanted more. So one of the guys I was working with at the time told me, hey, I got this guy who does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You should go train with him. And I was kind of hesitant at first because it was ground, and I didn't like being on the ground. I didn't want to be on the ground. You're on the ground, you were dead. Somebody stomped you, somebody kicked you. Something happened that wasn't advantageous to your position. So from there, I went out and tried out. That was William Carpenter, Albuquerque Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I loved it, man. I was at home. I got on the ground. Dude took my back the first time, and I kind of panicked and was clammy and nervous, and I wanted to cry, but I wanted to fight at the same time. And I just learned how to do different things, on the ground. And that's what really, I started progressing, watching MMA, watching UFC, and just really started falling in love with the sport, man.
Talk to us about your first fight.
So my first fight, I had done BJJ for probably 2.5 years, and I wanted to fight, like in the cage ring, whatever. Just wanted to fight. My instructor's like, you know, no one here fights. We just do BJJ. He's like, well, I'll train you to do cage stuff. I'm like, perfect, let's do it. So we started working together. Got my first fight. Rolled out there. I was nervous. I was once again. I was shaking. I was clammy. I didn't know what was going to happen. I got out there. It lasted like a minute and a half. We exchanged a couple blows. I hit the canvas. I touched the mat. It was greasy and oily and bloody. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a fight. Choke. Immediately got slapped on the rear naked. Had to tap. Almost went unconscious. And that was my first fight ever. First loss. And I just loved it after that. I was like, oh, this is what I want. I want to do this. I want to get better. I want to get beat again. So I just started drilling, and tried to get better at the craft, at MMA.
So you're telling me you got choked out and was smiling ear to ear?
I was happy, dude. I wasn't even mad. I was just glad that I had the experience and enjoyed being in there. Like, it was nothing that I'd ever felt before. All my friends yelling for me, all the people booing me, everything. It was one big adrenaline rush. And after it, I didn't even dump. You get an adrenaline dump after you fight. I didn't even dump after that fight. I was up. I was happy. I was jumping around. I was just glad that I had done it and realized what it was about. And then just wanted more, man. I just wanted more.
And then from that day forward, you progressed to Jackson.
Yeah. So then I did some time with another camp in town with FIT-NHB. Spent some time with Arlene and Tom Vaughn. They taught me a lot of the ins and outs of stand-up and of ground in terms of MMA. Got a little base, and after the base, things were progressing to another level, and I wanted to up my heavyweight experience. With some guys that I've been training with, periodically cross-training with. I wanted to up my experience, so I started going there, and bam, I went over. Coach was like, come on, we'd love to have you, and the rest is history, man. I've been there 2 years in November, and I'm loving life there, man. I'm loving it every day getting beat up, and thrown around, and just loving it, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
now that's the love of the game.
I'm saying, dude, can't get enough.
Now you got your pro debut coming up, 9/11.
9/11.
You're going back to the mean streets of Chicago for this one. Talk to us a little bit about your opponent. Talk to us about the promotion and what's going on with that.
Okay, the production is Ruckus Entertainment. Presents Rumble in Chicago on Navy Pier. It's going to be back in Chi-Town, so it'll be amazing. I just called all the cards out, man. Everyone, I'm pro debuting. Everyone who said, you stand by me through this. Come on, this is time. Just calling everybody out. My opponent, his name is Terrell Brown. So far, as long as that becomes my opponent, it doesn't change in this game.
In MMA, you never know.
You never know. People back out. People go. My opponent, Terrell Brown, kind of thick stud from Matt Hughes' Hit Squad camp. So he's gonna come with it. He's gonna bring it. Right now, he's 1-0. I'm 0-0 as a pro, so it'll be a good test, a good judge. And I'm really looking forward to just banging dude. It's been a little over a year since I've actually had a cage fight. I've done grappling tournaments and kickboxing smokers, and just to keep myself busy. But an actual cage match, it's been hard for me to find a fight. So finally, when this one presented itself, pro debut, Chicago, where I lived for 8 years, I'm on it, man. So I'm just looking to get in there, break something, hurt something, choke something, get him. You know what I mean? Just get it done, man. Just get it done.
Again, for the love of the game.
Love of the game, dude, and the experience of it. I mean, it's all about making it muscle and making it memory. You know what I mean? And when you get that and you do that, then it just becomes effortless. I mean, look at the greats in the game, man. They look like they're having fun. They look like they make it look effortless, and that's where I'm trying to be. And I can't do that if I don't fight. So.
That's awesome.
That's where it's at, man.
Vlad, thanks for taking the time. I'm not going to take up much more of your time. I know you're going to hit the treadmill, get some work. Some of them hurricane training. If you haven't seen it, oh my goodness, that's some rough stuff.
Rough.
Thanks for taking the time, Vlad.
Appreciate you, Sal. Thank you.
SalMora.com.